Hey! Can you hear the music? Is everything working? I might... Hold on, all the alert noises are off. Let me fix that real quick. I might need a bit of patience. Because I'm really mad. I'm trying to like hide the level of actual mad. I'm gonna put aside one thing. You guys have seen me rage. Because there's the type of like gamer rage where you rage but you're having a good time, right? You guys have never seen me actually mad. Like you guys have never seen me actually furious. I don't think. Maybe on rare occasion. I'm gonna try to swallow it because I don't want to bring that out. I'm holding back so much right now. It's not a good time when I'm mad. It's not. Like you might be sitting there right now thinking like, oh, that sounds great. Bring it on. It's not. You don't want to see me actually mad. Not at all. You really, really don't. I might also at times have a bit of trouble wording quite what I want to say. I need a drink. I wish I had something stronger than decaf. After my accidental coffee yesterday, I didn't want any caffeine today, so I got a decaf. It's decaf tea. Just so I can pretend that I have something, I don't know, to calm me down. The people I see in the comments are the cheeriest, or the ones who scariest when angry. Yeah, it's why I don't really want you guys to see me actually angry. Also, King, thank you so much for 12 months. Yeah, it's gonna be a bit of a hard conversation for me to navigate. I don't know if it's gonna be archived or unarchived yet. I don't know. It depends on how dangerous I feel this conversation is. But I at least wanted to scream about it and get it off my chest because it's like one of maybe the most like upsetting developments in anything forever for me. I don't know how to word it. I'm feeling very bleak, like the future is hell right now. And I know some people are gonna come in and be like, it's not so bad, adapt. Fuck off, I'm mad. I am allowed to have emotions. So yeah, there's gonna be an angry stream, and if you disagree with me, fuck you. You're allowed to disagree. You're allowed to even tell me in chat you disagree. I just might tell you to fuck off and mean it for once. But you have a right to your opinion. I just don't have to agree. And I can tell you very strongly if I don't. If SAG isn't getting the royalties, then it should be fine. No! Either way, it's not fine. And I'll get into it, why it's not fine. It's not even not fine for the reasons people think. Listen, it's not a money thing. It's not a money thing at all. What they did was basically solve the money issue. They didn't solve the real issue, though. The main reason... I'm trying to figure out how to, like, condense this so I can summarize it real quick so that we can get moving and make things make sense. Well, I have another drink because I'm getting angry again. I'm nervous drinking right now. I'm nervous sipping out my tea because I'm scared to have this conversation. I feel like I'm putting myself, like, I don't know the word. I feel like I'm making myself a lot more vulnerable than usual by talking about this on stream because it is a very sensitive issue to me. And I don't usually feel vulnerable on stream, so it's weird. It's weird. I'm just nervous drinking again. Hold on. It really is the worst possible scenario for anyone who wanted to break into voice acting. And I think I'll start with that. What? Okay, I'll hydrate some more, thanks. I think I'll start with that. Because then you'll know where I'm coming from. I feel like that's the easiest way to comprehend this is once you see where I'm coming from. Oh my god, I love how the water always misses me. Okay, for starters. I'm allowed, don't worry. The reason the stream is even happening is because I screamed about this at one of my underlings. I was like, this is bullshit, I hate this! And then they were like, you should stream about it. I'm like, fuck yeah! If I can scream about this, gladly. I'm encouraged to do this stream, so don't worry about me. The only reason I'm not telling you to fuck off is because I know you're trolling, Joey. Hold on. I have a cookie here. It's staring at me. I found it in my backpack this morning. I bought it actually when I was with Aka. It's probably not still safe to eat, but it's individually wrapped. So that's gonna be my reward for toughing this out. Okay, so for starters, I think the easiest way to get into this conversation is to first of all describe me, my point of view, and my perspective, and it might help you guys understand where I'm coming from and why I'm coming from that place. A month-old cookie. Nah, it's more like 6 months or so. Wait, I think was that the first time I visited? Oh my god, I think it might be a year-old cookie. This is fine. Anyway, okay, so to start off, I, in a way, am a voice actor. You guys know that because I was in Gunvolt 3, even if it was very small. Would I love to break into the mainstream and do like all your animes and all your movies and whatever else? Yes, I would love to be in anime and video games and stuff. Obviously. You guys can tell I practice. Listen, I wouldn't do it so much on stream if it wasn't something that I was really fucking passionate about. It's something that basically means the whole world to me, like literally. I other than like being interested in stuff like voice acting and singing and like streaming, I don't know who I would be. I genuinely don't know who I would be. Like, take those things away from me, I'm a shell. I'm nothing. I have nothing anymore. So, this is coming from a perspective of someone who is very hurt by this. This is not a neutral position analyzing, like, what are the pros and the cons? No! This is coming from someone who's really mad! Okay? So, you can, yeah. Just expect that this is a bit more of a personal point of view. To be fair, I will talk about the cons, or the pros. There are good things about what they did, but I still don't like them. So, yeah. It's less of, I'm gonna go through and we can decide if this is a good or a bad thing, and more, I am venting because I hate everything right now and I want to cry and crawl in a hole and stay there. So, yeah. Okay, how do I summarize this? I should have prepared some notes. I have no fucking notes. Okay, I screamed about this for like an hour yesterday at my dad, so I'm sure I can do this. It's just more pressure when people are watching. Does she know the reason why they're pushing for AI? Obviously, it's cheaper and people are lazy and companies can have more control. Mainly to save money, that's the main reason. Save money and you can have the biggest stars even if they're overbooked. Because they don't have to book them, right? You can save money by hiring a digital replicant instead of a real person because you don't have to pay session fees. And then you can also have somebody even if they don't have time for you. So those are the two main reasons. Even if AI gets really good to the point that you can't tell, those would be the main reasons. And no, it has nothing to do with any localizers whatsoever. I'm just gonna say that now before people make assumptions. It has nothing to do with any localizers at all. That is a whole other conversation. That is not this conversation. We've already had that conversation. Also, hello, baby Des. I get both sides using Valve's definition of live. Oh yeah, we're gonna talk about Steam as well. Of live AI voices could revolutionize games with expansive conversations. I disagree. Like ChatGPT, well maybe, but that's more TTS. That's like text-to-speech type AI, which is a little bit different because it's not trying to replace a voice actor. It's being very clear that it's TTS for a reason. It's a generative script. That's a whole different genre in my opinion. A genre in which I think AI is important. If you genuinely have something like a game where, like, if say you have AI Dungeon. say you're playing AI Dungeon, right? Something like that, where it makes up everything as you go. And you want to have voices in it. It's impossible to get real people unless you have a live service where someone voice acts it for you on the spot. It's impossible. So cases like that, I understand. We're talking about, don't assume it's that type of game. We're talking about, assume it's like your next Pokemon, your next Zelda, your next, your next Souls-like or whatever, like a game that has a set story. It's just AI voices. That's what we're leading this discussion on, the assumption. So yeah. That's the best way I think I can explain it. So basically what happened, one. Okay, we're gonna start with 1 point. Timeline. Okay. One time. There was, SAG-AFTRA went on strike. One of the main reasons for this strike was, supposedly, they were trying to protect... Oh, actually, here's the funny part, because they actually did what they were saying. They're trying to protect their actors in the AI generation to make sure their actors get paid. We're gonna come back to this point, because technically they succeeded in that. But that's not what people want. That is wrong. Okay, so... strike happened. The deal was shit. The voter turnout was shit. I think it was like just over half or something, like a 60% or something like that. I don't know if 60 didn't or 60 did. Either way, that's terrible. And it got passed with some AI laws that are bullshit, but it's at least something. Moving on to this. And this is when I need to scroll down on the page. We have their Twitter page right now. This is the official one. So you'll know I'm not bullshitting. This is all real. This is all on their actual Twitter page. This is all real shit. Okay. Okay, where is it? We're gonna read everything so that you guys know what I'm talking about. AI content creators need to eat too? No, they don't need to eat. They're not real! They're not real! Are you saying Neurosama needs to eat? No! Beetle though, Beetle's different. I feel like, sure, Beetle is AI, but he puts so much passion into it that it is genuinely a work of art. I don't know how to describe it. I feel like Neurosama is less a character herself, and it's more Beetle's puppet, if that makes sense. Beetle himself brings a lot to the table, and is what makes it interesting. Neuro's real to me, that's fair. That's fair. I mean, I guess I'm also real to you, so I guess I can understand, because I'm not real either, so you know. Where is it? Hold on. I have to go back really far, don't I? Okay, here's the start. January 9th. SAG-AFTRA and Replica Studios introduced groundbreaking AI voice agreement. Right here at this point. Yeah, the fact that Beetle's involved, it does make a big difference. You're right, I think that's a big part of it, Andrew. Okay, starting! I'm sorry, I'm gonna get worked up. Okay, starting here. You're right, nothing is real. Life is a simulation. Anyway. Okay. I'm nervous drinking again. Okay. So, they announced a new AI voice agreement, right? Us voice actors were under the impression that, what the fuck? We thought you were, like, banning this shit. Huh? What do you mean? Like, of course, non-union, it's still going to happen. It's still going to happen non-union. The union cannot control non-union work. That's how it goes. Non-union means it's outside of the union's jurisdiction. They can't control it. Nothing. So non-union will always be there with AI voice. But here's the thing. Even if you're not in the union largely, globally, by the way, globally, not just in the US, the union globally sets the standards for a lot of things, because a lot of productions are international. So they set the standards and expectations for a lot of things. And as soon as the union says they have a deal for encouraging AI, huh? Also, Bangala, thank you so much for the gifted. So, as essentially what this means is that the group that was supposed to at least protect, like, the highest ranking talents that are part of the union, so that at least their voices can never legally be used with AI because, you know, they're union. The union will fucking sue anyone who tries. Well, now they have an agreement to use union talent under AI. Yeah, it opened the gates in a way that they haven't been opened before. So now, everyone's like, what? Hey, yo, you were trying to protect us, huh? What's this? What's this? So now let's go into the agreement. Let's read what it is. And let's tear it apart bit by bit. Okay. SAG-AFTRA and Replica Studios introduced groundbreaking AI voice agreements at CES. Wow, CES is going on right now, by the way. I believe they're posting photos at there today, and they're posting... No, yeah, let's go back for a second. They're putting so many photos celebrating being at the event and being like, look at all this cool, groundbreaking technology stuff we're discussing, and everyone's like, bro, read the room. It's so annoying! Yeah, it's just whiplash. Like, look here. As it was a show of inspiring and innovative technology. Fuck you guys. Fuck you guys. And then they're just here all week looking at all this cool audio, video, gaming stuff. Wow, fuck you. Fuck you. Fuck you. Okay, anyway. Moving back. Hollywood showing their true colors. What do you mean? Hollywood's always shown their true colors. You just need to know where to look. Okay, okay, let's keep going. You've seen the same circle jerk of self-congratulations at NFT conventions in general. That's the same circle jerk you always get with the NFT bros. I'm not gonna hold back, because people are probably gonna get mad at me today. Anyway, let me read the news. Let me read it directly, so that you can have all the context. Replica Studios, an artificial intelligence AI voice technology company, and the Screen Actors Guild, which is what SAG is if you're not familiar, American Federation of Television and Radio Artists, SAG-AFTRA, announced today the introduction of a groundbreaking AI voice agreement during the event at CES. No one wanted this! Exactly! SAG is like, we protected our Hollywood peeps. But that's the thing. They did not care about the voice actors. They did everything to protect the Hollywood actors and their likeness and all of this stuff. But then they threw the voice actors under the fucking bus. Which is already something that, you know, happens every fucking day. Because if you're interested in voice acting, you'll always have people come up to you and be like, oh, have you considered real acting? Fuck off. Voice acting is just as legit. It's its own entire skill set. It's very different. You can't compare them. They're both skills that can take a lifetime to build. Yet voice actors are consistently always, the same as animation and video games, are always looked down on. Look at like film awards. You never see animated stuff nominated for anything outside of the animation category, which is absolute bullshit. Because there's so many good animated movies out there. And I think that like animated movie actors should be eligible for awards even if they're not under that category for the same thing. Like, they're still performing a lead role. Exactly, when actual actors try voice acting, it's horrible sometimes. Some are really good. Jack Black, banger. Although he's also a famous voice actor too, so... There are people who are very capable of doing both. I was really impressed. You know, I think Robert Pattinson was in The Boy and the Heron, wasn't he? I loved his performance in it. He was one of the best characters. I didn't even know it was him until someone told me on stream, and I was blown away. I never would have guessed. And I'm pretty sure someone told me too, like, he recorded over 100 takes practicing for his audition. He took it seriously and he learned and he did amazing. But if you take, like, a Hollywood A-list celebrity, put them in an animated movie, and it's like, here you go, you're voicing the lead to get us money and publicity, they suck. 9 times out of 10, they fucking suck. Unless they take it seriously and learn, they don't know what the fuck they're doing. It's very different. It's very different, you know? It's a completely different skill set. Anyway, so I'm tired of the skills I look up to being looked down on. So anyway, yeah, let's continue. It's just another chapter in voice actors being kicked to the curb, essentially. Let's keep going. Will Ferrell did great as Megamind. I haven't seen it, but I believe it. Just from watching Elf, I can see the potential he would have. Because he's really good at more character-y type things. It's essentially more of being a character than a voice. For example, Another Code felt very live action, but if you have that in like a Pixar high-intensity action thing, the type of voices would suck. Okay. This new agreement paves the way for professional voiceover artists to safely explore new employment opportunities for their digital voice replicas. With industry-leading protections tailored to AI technology, allowing AAA video game studios, which means they're literally aiming for the top of the top to use these instead of people. So this is like the level. This is not just like, hey yo, indie game is gonna use AI voice. This is like the highest up stuff. Like the stuff where if you feel like you landed, you've made it. This stuff, they now want to use AI voice replicas. Allowing AAA video game studios and other companies working with Replica to access top SAG-AFTRA talent. So that's like the top celebrities, like the most famous people in video games. Okay, yeah, exactly. AAA studios are the people who can afford to pay their fucking actors. They just don't want to. Okay, anyway, let's keep going. The agreement between the leading AI voice company and the world's largest performers union. Well, actually, no, I want to stop here. I want to elaborate on this part and why I don't like it already. So technically, the union listened. They listened. And they did what they said they were going to do during the strike. Okay, hear me out. So, they fought for their actors to get fair compensation, right? In AI age. They fought for their actors to get fair compensation. Under this agreement, an actor would be paid. A voice actor would be paid when their voice replica is used, as if it was them. I don't know if it's the same rate or lower, but they will be paid. But that's not what anyone wants. And I'll try to explain this the best I can. Also, BB does give it the same, but what's the difference between TTS and AI voices? AI voices, it's more like voice acting, like a performance. TTS is kind of always an AI voice, but it's not the same fit. It's not used for the same purpose. Do voice actors have a similar union to SAG? No. But a lot of them are fighting right now to separate. This SAG is supposed to protect. Guess what it didn't do? Yeah. That's the thing on Chatter. So if the Hollywood actors agree, their voice can be featured in games that have better voice acting quality than if the actors did it themselves and the actors get paid for it. For them, maybe, if they suck and they don't know what they're doing. But that means that, and this is part of the issue. Okay, so Hollywood actors often look down on voice actors. They look down, they're like, you're shit, this is an easy paycheck. Well, now it's an even easier paycheck because companies can buy out their voice replica, program them into whatever character, and then you have, like, I don't fucking know, Miley Cyrus or whatever, voicing, I don't know, what's a video game character? Lara Croft, bam, done. And she didn't do any of the work, but she's like, this is my voice, guys, wow, listen to me being Lara Croft, and she got paid for it. She did nothing. She did fucking nothing. How, would it affect her? No, because she was never interested in video games in the first place, right? So no, it wouldn't affect her at all. She'd just be getting an easy paycheck. Which is essentially belittling voice acting even more, turning it from an art form to, oh yeah, easy paycheck. I didn't even do anything, but don't worry, my rights were protected because I got paid for the usage of my voice. Okay. It's not fair. It's not fair. That's where I need to explain it. Here's the thing. This is not... Voice actors don't... Of course, I mean, money's important. Money's important, don't get me wrong. But the main thing voice actors are fighting for in the AI age is not money. The strike for voice actors, it was not about money. That was not the issue. We're not worried about being compensated for our AI. We want to do our fucking job. Like, how do I explain this? Like, if you want to get into voice acting, it's not just because you see a game and you're like, I want to hear myself in this game. That's not it. It's like, I want to help bring this game to life. I want to breathe into this game. I want to be a part of this. I want to do the thing. And then, like, if you're taking that away, and it's like, don't worry, we'll still pay you the same. You just don't get to do it. It's like, you don't even want to do it anymore. It's like, no, I don't want you to use my voice. Just get the fuck away from me. It's not how you would perform. That's the issue. Someone else would have done it. So it's like, sure, it's easy to say, well, just don't accept this rule, don't consent, and then you'll never have your voice used as an AI. Okay, but someone else will. Someone else will consent. So it's like, now there's just nothing. It's like, you don't. It's like, I personally, if I had the chance to voice act for free, not even get paid, in an indie game that's making no money, they're like, hi, we're doing this for fun. Do you want to voice act in it? I would rather take that over be in a AAA game, but it's an AI of my voice. I would never want that. I would never, ever want that. I didn't do the thing. What is there to be proud of? There's nothing to be proud of. People already look at voice actors and like, you don't even work. You just make funny voice. Okay, well now that's what it might actually be. It's like people don't work their whole lives to learn something just to get thrown down the toilet. It sucks. It sucks. I want to actually work. Like, you want to do the thing. You don't want someone else to use your voice and make a character. You want to do it. And even if you have your AI replica do it for you, it's not the same way you would necessarily read the lines. What if your AI replica does a terrible job? What if they program it so badly that you listen to it and you're like ashamed? Or what if, here's another thing. Okay, we're gonna come back to the weird localization for a second. We're coming back to the weird localization for a second. You guys brought up putting political stuff in like anime and stuff. Okay, let's come back to this conversation. Say that your AI replica is hired for a video game. You're probably going to be asked, given a synopsis of the game, and be like, yes, I consent to being in the video game if you're a moron who'll consent to being in it that way. Okay, so they're not going to show you the whole script. You're not going to hear every line. There's going to be last-minute changes. So, the game comes out, and you're kind of curious. So you're like, okay, I might as well go and listen to my voice that I didn't record in this video game to see what I did because I didn't do it. And then you say you turn it on, and the entire game is political propaganda. I can turn the music volume down, don't worry. Well, guess what you legally consented to? And the game is already out, so you can't take back that consent, bro. You can only take it back before you give it. You can tell them you're not allowed using my voice in the sequel, but that game's out, bro. You consented to be used, and you're in the palm of their hands. They played you like a sucker. At least if you're a real voice actor, you might not have a lot of rights. Like, you'll have to fight it. You might still lose the role or get blacklisted. But at least if it's, like, propaganda in a way that's really upsetting to you, you can walk out. No one is, like, holding you at gunpoint and being like, say the line! You can leave. It might have consequences, but you can leave. But with this, they can literally just do whatever they want. Whatever they want. And I actually do want to bring up Cistress's idea as well. Soon they'll have AI programmed to just have the original Japanese just speak English. No. And let me explain. I feel like one thing that I've seen on Twitter a lot is that people are assuming. let me just bring some of my magic opinion that you guys might not have considered into this situation here. Okay, so people keep assuming, they're like, good, we don't like English dubs anyway. Good, get rid of the bad voice actors. Oh, hold on. Do you think this will only happen to English voice actors, do you? Do you really? Do you really think this is only going to be localizations? Do you really think this won't happen in Japan? To your Japanese video games and your Japanese anime? Do you think it's going to be limited to only North America and Western productions? No. Once this cat's out of the bag, yeah, it's a very slippery slope. This is going everywhere. Like, it's not just going to affect localizations. It's not. So before everyone starts pulling up the good I hate localizations card, that's not the point. That's why it's a different discussion. That's literally not the point. So, yeah. It's not anything to do with a language or a country. It's the fact that a union, which is one of the groups that sets a global standard, is encouraging this. That is the issue. It's going to be everywhere. Voice actors are actually respected in Japan, though. No. Not as much as you think. They might be respected in terms of skills, but this could be another whole conversation. Voice actors in Japan are paid pennies. A lot of them can't make a living off of it, honestly. It's really bad. Like, sure, some of the stars might be okay because they might voice like 1 billion characters, but the treatment of voice actors in Japan is actually another whole conversation. It's bullshit. Voice actors in the West, I think, actually get treated better in terms of compensation. They're actually able to make a living from it sometimes. Sometimes. The top, like, 0.1%. Most people never do. Most people have other jobs. Yeah, it's like saying animators in Japan are respected for the anime. No. Is anime respected? Their work might be better respected, but I mean, there's a reason the industry's notorious for being exploitative. But, yeah. So that's a whole other conversation, but before I won't go any further, I just wanted to make that point about localization. Like, this is not about localization. Assume this will affect everything. Every language. So it's not that simple. It's not just going to affect dubbing. The not popular ones working kombinis, yeah, a lot of them do. That's a common thing. You'll see interviews, and they're working in a kombini at night, so they can keep their days open for like roles and stuff. 100%. That's true. The people who hate dubs will just hate dubs, even if they're done by AI. Honestly, they'll probably be even worse, so they'll just hate them even more. We need localizers who actually put in the effort to recreate the feeling and vibe and meaning of the original instead of like do other stuff and recreate as accurately as possible rather than just AI. Anyway, that is a whole other conversation I've already had, so moving on. Okay. The agreement between the leading AI voice company and the world's largest performers union, see? That's why it's one of the leading ones. It is the world's largest. Will enable Replica to engage SAG-AFTRA members under a fair... it's as fair as it can get. Ethical? I disagree, but... and I'll explain why it's... Oh, actually, let me explain in a minute why it's unethical. Agreement to safely create and license a digital replica of their voice. Licensed voices can be used in video game development and other interactive media projects from pre-production to final release. Also, BB, thank you for the super. Aren't VAs as respected as all other workers? Isn't that why Buraku Kiko is a thing there, regardless of the industries? I don't... They might be... Actually, no. Not always. Not always. I do remember reading interviews where some of them were looked down on, the same as idols are looked down on. Like, their family was really upset with them. And was like, how can you do this and throw away your life and all this stuff? So no. I'd say it's probably... They might be more respected from the people who watch their works. But maybe not on a general level, necessarily. Okay. Ethical. I want to bring up the number one reason this is not ethical and why people are really pissed. And this is what I gathered the most from reading a lot of Twitter comments and stuff and even talking to some people I know that are a little more directly involved than me. Okay. So, to start, a union is supposed to have... It's supposed to be a group. The original intent is a group that is formed to protect its workers, with the idea that all of the workers have a say in the outcomes. So any major decisions that could have huge effects on the industry or all the workers as a whole needs to come from a vote. There has to be a vote. Okay? So, for something like this, what they said is that they've consulted with their top video game talent. Every single reply I've seen from video game voice actors has been people being like, I wasn't asked. Where'd this come from? I didn't vote for this. There was no vote. There was no vote. This is already violating the rights of everyone in the union. If the union held a vote and all the voice actors voted for this to go ahead, I wouldn't be complaining right now. I'd just be depressed. I'd be like, you guys did this to yourself. Fuck you. But no one was consulted. If anyone was consulted, it was done privately between closed doors, probably with people who are so overbooked and busy that it didn't fucking matter. Because they probably have so much work that to them, they wouldn't have time to schedule more. And it's like, oh yeah, I can make more money from my replica. To them, it doesn't matter. Okay? every comment I see from big voice actors is basically protesting and being like, bro, where'd this come from? Are you throwing us under the bus? Excuse me? Yeah, anyone who was already consulted, like, was anyone even consulted? I'm wondering if they're lying. I haven't seen a single person come forward and say, yes, I agreed to this, I was consulted. I didn't see a single person. I've only seen people say they never had a say in this. So there's actually a lot of things going around because as a member of a union, you have the right to sue your union if they're not working for your best interest. So I think they have a lot of angry people coming for them because I've seen a lot of people saying they're gonna try suing. So we'll see where that goes. But mainly, the union should have come up with the census. But no, they had no vote. They just threw everyone under the bus immediately and threw this at everybody with no sign it was coming. Mind you, they've been kind of dropping the ball on voice actor treatment for a long time anyway, so it's something that a lot of people saw coming, but was hoping would never actually come to this, and now people are really fucking pissed. It's like the ball's been dropped, but it dug a hole like 12 feet under. It's like beyond dropped. It's like this ball's underground. And I believe it is. The union will get backed by corporations like Disney. It already is. Probably every Disney production ever would be union. I strongly believe it would be. You know, there's one big name that partnered with AI Forum a few years ago. I would believe it. But you see, that's the thing. Talking to one or two big names or whatever, especially if you are biased enough to pick people you know will agree with you, which is not real. That's not a real vote. Anyway, all they have to do is find big people that'll say yes and then move forward and say they found people to support them. But the members are not standing still. They're like, fuck this. People are strongly fighting back because it was not fairly done. It was not fairly done at all. The number one reason this was sleazy is because there was no consent. This happened with no consent. They say they're doing it under everyone's best interest and every single person's like, this isn't what we want though. So, how can something be under your best interest if every single person disagrees? Okay? You have to understand from that perspective. Some money-grubbing bigwigs. It kind of seems to be that way, yeah. So anyway, sure, it's the most ethical as it can be, but it's not ethical to the fact that no one agreed to this even being a thing. Approved by affected members of the union's voiceover performer community. What affected members? I can't even find one person! I've seen a lot of people say, hi, I'm affected, and I had no say. They don't even say, like, approved by a few affected members. It's like, approved by affected members. Bro, I would like to be an affected member in someday, and I have not been consulted. Like, hello? Oh, the union's voiceover performer community, except not a single person from that community that I've seen has approved this. This contract marks an important step forward. No! Off a cliff! An important step forward off a fucking cliff! Towards the ethical use of AI voices in creative projects by game developers and sets the basis for fair and equitable employment of voice actors. That's not employment! That's not employment! Listen! If you take if you have a photo of me and you're like, hey Pam, can I pay you $50 to clone this photo and use it in my own promo image? That's not a job for me. That's not a job. I don't know what it is. That's not employment. What the fuck? It's like the equivalent. That's not an employment opportunity. That's not employment. Yeah, it's licensing. That's not employment. What the hell? And even if it was employment, people are interested in voice acting or interested in it because they want to voice act once again, not because they want their voice to sound like it's a thing. They want to do the thing. Yeah, putting the word ethical does not make it ethical. And sets the basis for, we keep going. Voice actors as they explore the new revenue opportunities provided by AI. What do you mean by new? Let me just elaborate. What do you mean by new? What do you mean by new? Where even was I? Oh my god. What the fuck do you mean by new revenue opportunities? You mean getting paid less to not do the thing? Getting paid less to not even do the thing? if that's a new revenue opportunity, then getting a pay cut counts as a new revenue opportunity. Did you guys know that? Wow! Because it's different, so it's technically new. Wow! So if I fired you and I decided to pay you $7 an hour, that's a new revenue opportunity. That's true. They did say new, not better. But it implies. The positive wording, they're really trying to sell this to people who are stupid and doesn't know what it means. They're seriously, seriously trying to make this look like something good. I'm sorry. I told you guys I was going to be angry. And angry I am. Okay, let's keep going. In addition to establishing minimum terms and conditions, the agreement ensures performer consent and negotiation for uses. Now, this is the one part that's actually good, and I'll get to it. Andrew B, thank you for the super. Have you seen Replicant's pricing? Its pricing is ridiculous. Can't even imagine the actor's cut. I haven't seen it, actually. I don't know what it is. I think it'll be different for union, though, because probably the current pricing is non-union. If they just struck a deal with union, then we probably don't know what the union pricing is yet. Are voice actors allowed to sue SAG-AFTRA for this? Yes, a lot are trying, actually. Okay, so here's the good part. In addition to establishing minimum terms and conditions, the agreement ensures performer consent and negotiation for uses of their digital voice double and require that performers have the opportunity to opt out of its continued use in new works. So, this part is good at least, because it's not like there's a database for like, here, take everyone's voice and use it. You have to, oh my god, I burped, that's embarrassing. You have to consent to every individual project, and at any time you can revoke it from a company for use from future things. So yeah, but you're never gonna have your voice used as an AI without consent. But here's the problem, especially when it comes to people like A-list celebrities who look down on voice actors. There are people bigger than you who are going to say yes. So if you don't consent, they won't use you anyway. They'll just go with someone who will. So you can't even fight it by not consenting, because they'll just go to someone else immediately who will consent. So that's not even an option. And there's not really any way to fight it. So basically, sure, they get your consent. But most people don't even consent to this happening. So that's the issue. And leaving the union is not as easy as it sounds. There's a lot of non-union jobs with no protection for AI. Here's the thing. If your voice is stolen and used for AI on a union production without your consent, the union can fucking sue and will go after them. That is not allowed. But if you're non-union and someone steals your voice, you can't really do much about it. You can sue them personally if you want, but no one's got your back. No one's going to protect you. Is the union perfect? Fuck no. There's a lot of problems with it. But it's better than nothing for a lot of people. Because the other thing is with voice acting, and even on camera, a lot of people, they don't really understand how the industry works, and they just see the glitz and glamour of it. And you know, they would legitimately, if they're like, hey, do you want to be in a movie or in a video game? There's a lot of people who would do it for free and would not be fairly paid. So if there weren't minimum rules and stuff set by the union originally, there would be a lot of unfair treatment. A big example, this is a big jump in the film industry. This is a big jump. The best example I can think of is sex scenes and nudity! Okay, so there's big protection on that one. The union has a lot of big rules on what is allowed, what is not allowed, how you consent to it. There have to be people in the room that make sure everything runs smoothly and make sure you're comfortable. If you're not in the union and you have to do like a sex scene with nudity, that could be sprung on you and you don't even know. They can't, like if you're a union performer, they can't hire you for a role and write in like a nude sex scene without you knowing that that's gonna be there when you take the role. Like they can't just be, you have to do this now. Non-union, that can happen. So, and also stunts. There's no rules. That's basically what non-union means. There's no rules. So, you could be expected to do stunts or like nearly get yourself killed on non-union productions. Whereas on union things, the stunt people would be paid for like almost killing themselves. And then that you have the right to be like, this is too dangerous, I'm not doing it. So it's like, you know, simple as saying, I'm out. And there's health insurance too, because voice stuff can be really intense. Like, how do I explain this? Like, I don't know if you know what it feels like for your voice. Have you ever gone to work and your whole day, you used to be like, ugh, ah, you want to do that for 8 hours? I'm gonna ignore the Japanese redeem. I'm sorry, this is not the time. I need to rant in English. Do you know what doing that for like 8 hours is gonna do to your voice? People have damaged their vocal cords and needed literal surgery and stuff. There's like some medical assistance and stuff, and protection in how many hours you can work, how many lines you can do. Intensive stuff needs to be later. There's a lot of protections for stuff like that where even if it's not perfect, it's still safer, and you're less likely to actually like permanently tear up your entire throat. So it's not perfect. It's not. I have a lot of problems with a lot of the rules I've looked into, but it's something. The alternative is nothing. So that's the best way I can put it for people who are just like, leave then. It's like, okay, but then you have nothing. Then you're just jumping into all the hell. So yeah. That's the best way I can explain that, if that makes sense. Artificial intelligence has dominated the headlines, and for most performers, the best protection against the unauthorized digital simulation of their voice is apparently to have it, but with permission now by pressuring people into consenting. Wow. I love it here. Likeness or performance is a SAG-AFTRA contract. No! You shouldn't have a SAG-AFTRA contract. There should be no option to use union people like ever. We are so happy to partner, yeah, fuck you, with Replicant Studios, because this is a great example of all being AI being done right. No! No, it's not! There's parts of it that are better. I'll admit it's better than it could be, but it's not good! Okay, and said SAG-AFTRA President Fran Drescher. Fuck you, Fran! Okay. Also, Cameron, thank you so much for 7 months. The AI agreement seems to be making VAs mad. Gee, I wonder why. I've only been screaming about it for 50 minutes. Recent developments in AI technology have understood the importance of protecting the rights of voice talents. What rights? You're taking our jobs away. There's no rights. There's no rights. I know it can't be protected everywhere. Like, there's going to be AI voice acting, but at least for the top talent, can you like at least protect the people who've worked their way up and earned their place in the union? Like, at least, what the fuck? Particularly as game studios explore more efficient ways to create their games. It's not efficient! It's not more efficient! I would in a heartbeat drop everything to record lines for you instead of having a programmer do it. Like, what the fuck? Yeah, Fran screwed everyone for QuickBook. Essentially. I wonder how much she was paid for this. Said the SAG-AFTRA National Executive Director and Chief Negotiator Duncan Crabtree Ireland. Fuck you, Duncan! With this agreement, we have achieved fully informed consent and fair compensation when it comes to the use of our members' voices and performances. Your members didn't want this, though! Your members wanted it not to exist. They didn't want an option to be pressured into giving consent. They wanted this to not be a thing for at least the members. And we are proud to work with Replicant in leading the way to make it easy for these companies to access SAG-AFTRA's world-renowned talent in an ethical manner. It's not ethical if you don't hold a vote for it! You can't just make this a thing without even having your talent consent. Sure, they can consent to actually accepting the job, but they didn't consent to the program or the contract. There's supposed to be a member agreement for every contract. Every time there's a new contract. Every single time there's a new contract. Members are supposed to vote and agree on the changes. This was not held to a vote. This is literally breaking every single rule the union was established for. I'm sure it's consent and fair compensation for their contributions. Well, you didn't seem to care about their opinions on allowing this in the first place. It is such a disaster, man. This agreement also paves the way for other companies to follow their lead. Can they not? I would love more companies to not. Thank you. Replicant is proud to partner with SAG-AFTRA to introduce an ethical approach to the emerging use of generative AI. We are excited by the new opportunities this opens up for world-leading AAA studios who can now access the benefits of Replicant's AI voice technology while knowing that talent is recognized and compensated fairly for the use of their likeness. Talents want to participate. They don't want to have their likeness used for one. Two, AAA games games have found another way to screw everyone over. I love the modern gaming industry. Fuck me. I think the only time I can see AI voice acting being good is if the character is an AI. I will admit, I think if the character is an AI, it could be kind of cool. Like, think of Portal. Think of Portal. The use of AI in Portal, I can see that actually being kind of interesting. Okay? That's like it, though. That's the thing. A strike has already happened. The actor strike was supposed to cover everyone, right? But apparently they only cared about Hollywood celebrities. Because the voice actors also lost a lot of work and took a lot of time off to help fight that fight, which they thought was going to protect them, but they just got stick shoved up their ass by this very fun announcement. I hate it. I do really like that Portal had a trained opera singer in the role. I think that's kind of cool. I like that it was a person, but I think it could have not been, and it would have been okay, is what I mean. Anyway, where was I? Our voice actor agreements ensure that game developers using our platform are only accessing licensed talent who've given permission for their voice to be used as a training data set. Yeah, never. As opposed to the Wild West of AI platforms using unethical data scraping methods to replicate and synthesize voices without permission. Now, that is one thing I will credit them on. At least, it only uses actors with consent. At least. Whereas you see a lot of like YouTube videos and stuff where people steal people's voices and put them into an AI. At least they have consent. I burped again, oh my god. At least there is consent. But the problem with this is that they are going to pressure people to consent. People are going to have no choice at some point. If it's gonna be like, you don't pay your bills or you consent because all the work is gone to other people who did. So it's not as simple as it sounds on the surface, where it's like, oh cool, if you don't like it, opt out. I want to say it's that easy, but I know the world well enough. Listen, I have been on this earth since my company was founded. I'm now 21, I know how the world works. And the world is not simple enough to hire people if someone else will consent. Yeah, if no consent means no job, it is going to get rough. Exactly. And that's the problem. So, it's gonna come down to a situation where, sure, you have to get consent, but it's like, I'm trying to think of an equivalent. I'm trying to think of an equivalent to make this make sense. To why this is yucky. It's like, they do have the option to opt out, but the problem is if they opt out, that person's not hired. They're gonna hire somebody else who opts in. The work is disappearing. And I'm trying to think of a good equivalent. It's like, I can't think of a good equivalent. But it's like say there's something you worked a long time and you were really proud of, and you made it your livelihood and you're paid for it. And suddenly, you can't do it anymore. You can't do it anymore. Because everyone else has decided to take money to have a robot do it for them while they lie on the couch and fan themselves. There's a certain amount of pride that is very much not wanting to give in, but eventually it's like, do I want to eat? Do I want to pay my rent? So you don't have much choice when it comes down to it. It's easy to say, I'm going to hold my ground and not consent, but that might mean you get phased out of the industry entirely. So it's like, what do you even do? Yeah, essentially the unions basically gave up their power the voice actors had in this situation by getting rid of the collectivism that allows them to make strong deals. The voice actors were not involved in this decision. If there was actually a union vote and all of the actors were involved to make something happen or not happen, I wouldn't be so mad because it is naturally what most people agreed was best. But this was made with nobody's consent. That's why it's a problem. This was made with nobody's consent. Exactly. At some point, it's, do you want to eat or do you want to keep your morals? Like, it comes to a point where you don't have the freedom to necessarily choose. Like, we all think, like, oh, I would never, blah, blah, blah. But if it came down to it, I'm sure every single thing we want to say we wouldn't do, if it came down to it, we would. Under the right circumstances. Exactly. The union sacrificed everyone's power, basically. And that's what's really fucked up about this. Because this is supposed to be the group that should help us work together to make contracts, and instead they're like, oh, we did it without you. And the backlash was so strong. I'm not gonna open them up, but let me see how many replies. Okay, there's 50 replies. It's not as strong as I remember. No, that's the older one. Hold on. That was actually a good agreement thing. Okay, I don't want to scroll back. That's too much work. Anyway, the next day, they released another statement. They did a live stream on Instagram too, and I think I read that they had to turn off their comments because people were so mad. Anyway, it's a good thing that Twitter now banned it so you can't see how many quote retweets there are on something, or oh, you'd see how this got ratioed. I saw more quote retweets than I saw the original post, man. It's Eli. He knew how to defend his AI bros by getting rid of seeing how many quote retweets. It got so ratioed. Hello, Sir Warrior Robbie. Thank you for the super. Robotnik, in this Hollywood game, there are winners and there are losers, and the losers get roboticized. Oh my god, we're becoming a Sonic. So you can still see it on the phone because you got the old ass version of Twitter. Mouse, do you know how many quote retweets there are? I'm very curious if you're able to check. If you can't, it's okay. So the next day, they made another statement because people were so fucking mad. Okay. A new Replica Studios agreement is an important step forward. Like, they're really trying really hard to convince us. In establishing union protections, terms, and conditions for the use of digital voice replication in the video game industry. Dear members, so this is directly to the members, this statement, instead of the public. Let's have fun tearing this apart, shall we? Okay. On behalf of the Interactive Media Agreement Negotiating Committee, which is not... No, there still should have been a public vote before agreeing. This committee is supposed to, like, come up with ideas. And then the public... Not the public so much as the members vote yes or no. We are pleased to announce a groundbreaking new agreement with Replica Studios. Replica Studios is a new signatory of SAG-AFTRA contracts, and the agreement is an important step forward in establishing union protections, terms, and conditions for the use of digital voice replication in the video game industry. Except the union members don't want voice replication at all, which is a point I've beaten to death, so we'll move on. It is important to note that this is not our interactive media agreement itself. We continue to negotiate with the major video game companies to achieve the protections we need in that agreement, including AI. Protections and the strike authorization we've already secured remains the tool to be deployed in that negotiation if needed. Okay, SAG-AFTRA members, including those represented by your Interactive Media Negotiating Committee, which is just small people instead of the one where all the members are supposed to vote, many of whom are actors with significant and diverse experience performing in games, including in VO roles. This is where it gets tricky. These are not people who specialize in voice acting. Even if a few of them are, we need to make a decision that affects only voice actors. You need a committee that is only voice actors voting. 5,821 quote retweets. Oh my god. I think that says a lot right there. How people feel about this fucking situation. 5,821 quote retweets. This is why we need that feature back on Twitter. Thank you, guys. Holy hell. Now you guys understand that it's not just me going off. That's actually one of the most drastic ratios I think I've ever seen. I love this. I feel slightly better knowing I'm in good company on Twitter. Okay, anyway. We need a committee of only voice actors, first of all, to vote on a decision that affects all voice actors. You need a committee where only the people affected have a say. Only the people affected. It'll take lawsuits for them to blink. Great, I hope some are coming. I would send one if I could, but I can't. We're deeply involved in the negotiation of this agreement. How were they deeply involved? Were they given big checks in order to agree? I wonder if that was their involvement. They were given big money to say yes. I would believe it. Chat, would you believe it? Oh gosh. I have no evidence that that's true, but I I have a stinking feeling it might have been. Don't quote it as a fact, but I have a stinking feeling there might have been some bribery. Some corrupt people up there. And the negotiation, yeah, with money. It is important to note that the contract was specifically tailored to the needs of voice actors. What needs? What needs? Voice actors. Yet this contract means there's no acting. What needs? Our need for fulfillment? For performing? Our need to feel good about ourselves? Because we sure feel like shit right now. Ensuring informed consent and proper compensation. We don't want compensation. We want that too, but I mean, you know, there's a difference between getting compensated fairly for work you do and being compensated at all for work you don't. I wouldn't even know. I wouldn't even want that. Like, if someone modded Genshin Impact and used an AI of my voice as a main character, I don't think I'd be happy. I'd be like, gee, your heart was in the right place, but I hate this. I mean, just for fun even is another thing though, but when it's for commercial, just keep in mind, this is not for like fun little stupid YouTube videos, which I still would feel weird if my voice was used and it wasn't me saying the things, but this is for like commercial projects, okay? And are unique to this set of performers. After an exhaustive negotiating process, we achieved our goals in this agreement and the committee unanimously approved it. I still don't believe that. I don't believe it. They need to consult more people. 100%. Either they were bribed or they were threatened. I don't know which, but something screwy is going on here. We want you to be fully informed about the new agreement, and to that end, we are posting... I still feel like something this drastic that could be like obliterating the entire industry really needed to have full consent of all the members, not a committee. Not a committee at all. This is like, I'm trying to think of an equivalent for like how major of a decision this is. This is like imagine at your job, somebody made, like whatever your position is, somebody in your company basically made a vote saying, hey, let's replace this entire industry with robots. And everyone else was like, yeah, sounds good. More money for us. And then you come into work and they're like, you're robots now. We don't need you. And you're like, huh? Do I not have a say? That's basically the situation. Also, Eureka, hello! I'm not gonna pull up clips right now because I don't know if you want your clips associated with a very angry rant. I'm screaming. I'm sorry in advance to people who came in. I'm very mad. We're screaming about, AI voice acting and how the union threw everyone under the bus. Yay, good times. Yeah, like it's just anyone making an AI and using someone's voice. It just sounds really weird. Like I don't know how to word it. It's like it's the same as if somebody made a deep fake of you and you found it and it was like doing something unsavory. You'd be like, that's like not what you want, you know? Hello, Emily, I'm so sorry we're screaming today. It's like, it feels so violating and invasive. Let's see, okay. We want you to be fully informed about the new agreement. We invite you to review the full text of this agreement here. So I'm gonna open that up on another tab. And take a moment to read the FAQs. We're gonna read that. I'm not gonna read the summary because you've already kind of got that. This agreement provides protections that weren't previously afforded to members. I do agree the protections are helpful, but the fact is they shouldn't be enabling it nor encouraging it in the first place. Yeah, exactly. The deal revolves around securing the licensing rights to their likeness, but it's not seeing the forest for the trees at all. The industry will continue to evolve and implement transformative tools that enhance our creativity. What creativity? You're taking away the creativity! A robot doesn't create! What the fuck? A robot just plagiarizes, like, other people's performances. Maybe you can adjust the pitch, use some dials, and try to, like, ooh, I'm gonna take this person's performance here and this person's performance here. I'm gonna combine them so that this line sounds like the two at once. Wow, that's not creating. Fuck you. I will actually say one thing where I think that AI voices could come in handy in the process. Scratch vocals. So, oftentimes voices are done So what scratch vocals are, I'll try to explain this. So sometimes voices are done and then the visuals are made. But for stuff like dubbing, you have the video already done. You have to watch the lip flaps and match the timing. If they use scratch vocals to just record like a sample that matches the timing, like monotonous, you can listen to it twice and then you could record back and match the timing but add emotion. I feel like that would be a great use for AI in voices. That would speed up the process because people would be able to dub a lot faster and you could listen and see like, do these lines actually fit the timing? That would be excellent. You'd still be having voice actors coming in afterwards and doing the work, but it would save a lot of like quality and make sure that the dubs are better because you'd already know that the lines like work for the timing and sound okay before you bring a person in. If that makes sense. Choking. So there are ways to implement it. Exactly. Using it like a tool is one thing. It should be a tool, not a replacement, you know? Agreements like these help hold the tech companies and employers to account and ensure members have control over their voices and images, which is true, but if you take away every other opportunity, then they basically are forced to lose control, so no. And provide a roadmap for the achievement of these gold standard protections with other employers. This is bad enough because now there's going to be other companies wanting to join. Oh boy! Anyway, let's move on to the FAQ, which is a lot shorter than I thought it was going to be apparently. I'm not going to read the whole thing. Frequently asked questions. I still don't believe this. Was this approved by both the committee overseeing it made up of voice actors working in the video game industry? But who is this? I've never seen a single person come forward. They're probably the most hated individuals in the industry right now, though. To be fair, they probably wouldn't want to come forward because their neck would be on the chopping board. Okay, what is Replica Studios? They're a company, innovative, groundbreaking pair of contract governing the development, blah, 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 blah. So it's a development agreement which sets the terms for the initial creation of digital voice replicas and the Replica Studios' own internal use of them. So basically, yeah, it doesn't matter. It's irrelevant. It's just the process. That's not relevant to my point. Yeah, they're trying to sell crap and call it chocolate. Good analogy. Who bargained for it? Apparently, working voice actors. This is basically just a document being like, we're trying to cover our asses. You hate us, but here, we're gonna try to make you like us again. It didn't work last time. Let's try it again with more words. If we throw enough words in your face, you'll believe us, right? How does Replica Studios agreement relate to interactive media? Okay, that one's not really relevant. This is just all spew. This is not answering any questions I have. My questions are, who the fuck agreed to this? 2, why was there no vote? These are my questions, and that's the most frequently asked questions I've seen. Why are they not in your FAQ? I haven't seen any of these asked. I haven't seen any of these questions asked. Why, well, wait, here's one of them actually. Why wasn't there a member referendum? Yeah, I wonder. Unlike the recently approved AMPTP contract, which is a national contract setting terms for a multi-employer bargaining unit, the Replica Studios agreement only sets terms for a single company. Oh, really? Okay, I see how they're spinning this. So essentially, they're saying because this was an agreement struck with one single company, this is a working contract we have with that company, we don't have to have a public vote with our members, despite the fact that this vote is drastically changing the entire industry. So basically, they spun this as if it was an actor's contract with one company, instead of new union regulations and protocols, which is basically what it's going to lead to. We know that's where it's going to go. So they spun this as something a lot smaller than it really is. It is dirty. It is dirty. And I understand the loophole. They can get away with this. They legitimately can get away with this. Yeah, it's just exhausting, right? It's fucking documents. They'll just shove more paper in your face and make it more and more complicated until you're like, I don't get it anymore. Talking with a couple friends who've worked as VAs on top of agreeing with Pam, another concern is that over the mid and long term, corpos would replace new talent with infinitely replaceable AI. Exactly. Because eventually they're gonna make AI where you don't even know who the original talent is, right? It's just a bunch of voices fused together. And then there's never gonna be any royalties or anything because it's a new entity, right? It's not even gonna be a replica. It's going to be just a new voice. Like, similar to Vocaloid, except instead of being used as a tool, It's going to be more like it can adapt itself very easily. Vocaloid is, maybe it falls under the same umbrella, but I don't see Vocaloid as an AI so much as it's more like a synthesizer that can just happen to do sounds. It is a very dirty, filthy way to make this go through. And I hate it! Pursuant to the SAG-AFTRA Constitution, single employer agreements are approved by the executive committee and are not sent out membership referendums. I see how you're playing. I see how you're playing. And I don't like it! If you want us to respect you, maybe you shouldn't play dirty. Yeah, Vocaloid is more like an instrument. There's a lot of human work that goes into it. Man. So they literally justified not having a vote because it was one single company. But they're saying that this document, here's the thing. And they know that this is bullshit. They know this is bullshit. And let me explain why they know this is bullshit. Under this particular question, right here, they're saying they have the right to do this, and without doing a member vote because it only affects one company. But in the main document, they said, we're proud to do this so that other companies can use this contract and follow suit. Does it sound like it's just for one company anymore? I bet there's a lot of other companies in talks, and they are ready. They're ready. They were just waiting to sign. Late enough that they can pretend, hey, it wasn't related, we swear. You know, they literally pulled a trust us, bro. Guess what? Joke's on you. Everyone's lost trust in you now. Wow, that's a nasty excuse. Nasty. Why are you announcing it now? Probably because it's during CES, which is like a big entertainment tech conference. So they're trying to promote it while all the AI bros can hype it up and be like, yeah, let's go. Member viewpoints on AI vary greatly, from those who would like to ban it, to those who are excited about the opportunities it presents. Who the fuck? I've never seen a single person excited about it that's an actor. Not even once! Not even once! The Replica Studios Agreement is a forward-looking agreement that provides important protections for performers in a rapidly developing area. Entering into a contract like this now, as use of AI technology in the video game industry is still developing, allows us to help guide the industry toward fair compensation and working conditions for professional performers. Well, guess what? We ain't performers. What did it just do? You don't want me to read it now, so you shrunk it, huh? Huh? You shrunk it, huh? I'm on to you. I am on to you. They're hacking my PC. They don't want me to read it. How do I get the size back up? What the fuck? Hold on. I gotta reload this. I don't know why it's so small. Okay, I got it. You're not bamboozling me. They know. This is fine. Okay, where were we? Okay. To ban it. Okay, let's get back. I think we were here. The Replica Studios Agreement is a forward-looking agreement that provides important protections for performers in a rapidly developing area. No, because guess what? In order to be a performer, chat, I have a question for you. In order to be a performer, what do you need to do? Chat, do you know the answer? In order to be a performer, you need to... I'm waiting until someone says it. Perform! You got it, chat! Wow! We learned so much today! What? No way! I know it's shocking, right? I'm sorry, but if your AI replica does it for you, you are not a performer. You're a sellout. Fuck you. Entering into a contract like this now as use of AI technology in the video game industry is still developing, allows us to help guide the industry toward fair compensation and working conditions for professional performers. Once again, performers are dead if this goes through. The quote, experimental, in other words, they know they're gonna keep it. 1-year term means we can quickly negotiate adjustments. How about you burn it? With Replica Studios, should new circumstances come to light that warrant change in terms, or just burn it. Why are you saying that? If this chat delay is that bad, that just means I have to be more dramatic and pause longer next time. Objective cat, thank you for the super. Why do all these excuses apply to voice actors and not to screen actors? Because for screen actors, guess what? Screen actors actually get respect. Wow! Wow! People actually respect them because they have star power. Yay. We love it here. It is hypocrisy. It's hypocrisy at its finest. The guild only protects its top. They do not give a shit about voice actors. And everyone learned that the hard way. Why are you saying the Replica Studio is groundbreaking? Because it broke the ground. We're now in hell. It's technically groundbreaking. We've fallen right through the magma. We're deep in the abyss of hell. This is technically true. All the terms and agreements for negotiating on AI are breaking new ground. There are new and novel considerations related to digital recreation and use of a performer's voice that are not present in connection with work performed live, all of which must be considered and addressed. In addition, the agreement expands coverage to include scratch tracks. Oh! That's actually what I said. I'm gonna admit one thing real quickly. So right now, there are still real people being paid for scratch tracks.
You get that money.
That is true. But to do scratch tracks, you don't have to be a performer. You can be anybody that can read it and match the timing. Your emotion doesn't suck. I could read a scratch track and be like this. Okay, got it. Where are you going today, Keiichi? I'm going to a fiesta. Wow, I would love to go to that fiesta. You can do that. It doesn't matter. It's for timing. I'm choking so hard from screaming. It doesn't fucking matter, right? Anyone can do it. In that way, will it cost jobs? Yes. But that is a job that could be done by a tool. It doesn't have to be a person necessarily. It's no different than a proofreader versus spell check. Would a person do it better? Maybe. But it's the same thing where it's not a performance. There's no art to it. The creativity is not there. Cats, Casey and Friends real. To be fair, I'd pay for a Casey and Friends club. I don't know if that makes sense to you guys or not, but that's a very important point. I do think the agreement for scratch vocals is okay. Oh god, the bigger head thing is there. There's also smaller now, so if the head gets too big, it only works on Twitch. Actually, no, I think it works on YouTube now. No, it works on Twitch only. You should be able to put smaller if the head gets too big. Now I'm just gonna be screaming with a giant head. Fuck. Anyway. Yeah. Which have traditionally not been done by professional performers. Yeah, it's usually like non-union or just like some rando in the studio who does it. So that doesn't really matter anyway. So, for that one, at least now I guess union people could get paid for the AI to do it, which is something, but I don't care about AI being used for scratch vocals personally. I get why some people would be hurt, but it's no different than spell check to me. Spell check is like AI versus proofreader. It's the same thing. It's inevitable. But for the actual like artsy part of the performing, nah. So let's see. Why agree? Yeah. When I said scratch vocals are, it's kind of like if you have an animation or a game and you record temporary vocals and then somebody else records their own vocals to match the timing over top of it, but theirs is the real performance, that's scratch vocals. It's hard to explain. I only learned very recently what it was. Why agree at all? While we understand and respect that some members strongly oppose any use of AI in entertainment, there are other members who are eager to embrace new income streams, and there are also members who would engage with new technologies. I just want to know. I just want to know. Who are these members? Who are these members that strongly embrace your plan? Who are the actors embracing AI? I just need to know for reasons. I just need to know who they are. So you can have a word. A very strong word. And there are members who would engage with technologies under the right circumstances. I think even for scratch vocals, I'd be okay if someone else did it, but I wouldn't want it for me. Yeah. The reality is that this area is already developing with foreign and non-union companies setting terms and conditions that at best are below what our members expect, or at worst are highly exploitative. That is true. But by caving in and starting it with your members, you're only adding to the problem. You're not helping. You should be fighting it. You shouldn't be caving. The Replica Studios agreements is an important step forward in setting fair terms that will protect our members in this new space in the future. There's no such thing as fair. Oh my god, my head. I got so mad my head exploded. What are the terms? Okay. So basically, the full agreement summary. Actually, maybe if the full summary is longer, maybe we should read it. Yeah, okay. Maybe we should read that then. At least skim it. In addition to setting minimum rates for the creation and for the use of their digital replica in video games, the contract sets several key protective terms that have been at the heart of our efforts to create guardrails around AI. These protective terms include, among others, transparency around the content a digital replica will be used to create, but I don't think they'd have to say everything. They probably wouldn't have to explain beyond like just this is the game you're working on or whatever. They wouldn't have to say everything, I don't think. Performer consent for use of the replica in any new project. Limitations, that means they can change the existing project. Limitations on the amount of time a performer's replica can be made available without further payment and consent. Limits on confidentiality and NDAs. Maybe that does mean they have to know the full scope, I don't know. And data security protections, including for a digital voice replica. What is the compensation for replicas? Okay. Okay. I can tear into this one. Wait, hold on. Hold on. Okay. I'm getting up another tab that's gonna be important here. Hold on, give me a sec. Rates, 2024. Let me get the rates that people would be paid if it was not AI. Okay. This is assuming AAA, because they said AAA, okay? This is theater. Where do I find film? Hold on, let me find the video game deal, because that's what we're really talking about. SAG video game rates. Rate sheet, perfect. Let's talk about this. And before you see the rates and are like, wow, that's high, keep in mind, voice actors spend a lot of time auditioning and a lot of money training. So the majority of the work they do is actually unpaid. Sometimes they might get a couple roles a year, but they're working every single day, okay? So it's going to look a lot higher than it is, okay? And that's important to this conversation. Okay. So the compensation to have a replica made with your voice is $956.75 for a 4-hour session. So, it doesn't say anything about the fee to use your voice. I'm curious how low it is, but anyway. So, to have a replica made, oh wait, the use. Okay, limited integration. Okay, so a 4-hour session, peep. Okay, so they have to pay a 4-hour, so they have to pay this amount, essentially, for every 300 lines. Okay, so it's around $1,000 per 300 lines. Okay. But I'm curious what the rate here is for video games. Hold on. It might be the same, honestly, but again, it's not about money, it's about pride. People want to do the job, you know? I don't see anything. It might just be off camera. It might actually be cheaper to hire a real... No, because the years have gone up. It's around the same price. Okay, so it's around the same price. At least if it's around... If I understood correctly, which I might not have. If I understand correctly, it's around the same price, but they have to pay an extra day. to make the replica. So at least if that's true, there shouldn't be any hiring because it's cheaper yet. But I don't trust it because it's a slippery slope. I don't trust it. If the pay is the same, then hopefully they'll just lean towards using real people. That's at least slight relief. But here's the catch. If they pay that for now, they could lower the rate later, right? Once they have enough replicas. Because if it's around the same rate... Wait, 956... What is it here? Yeah, it's the exact same. It's the exact same. But the thing is, and what I don't trust about it specifically, is that they'll pay you an extra 4-hour session rate so that you can go in and record it, right? Person, are you a member? Nice! Oh, I would have said nice a few days ago. I'm sorry for your loss of sanity, maybe is a better word. I've talked to a number of members, and boy. So you're paid an extra day. Exactly, attaboy, you got it! Ding, 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 ding! You're paid an extra day to help work on your replacement. Wow! Chat, would you take an extra day work of pay to make your replacement? What if down the road they decide, here's the other thing, I want to make one point because of how AI develops. Hear me out. Hear me out. If you have a replica made from your voice, even if you think it's fine, it's fine. I'm gonna make one more point again. Nico, this is not just for dubs. This is not just for dubs. If it is allowed in the English market, it is going to happen in the Japanese market. It is not going to be just dubs. I'm tired of people jumping to that conclusion. It's going to be any language, any country. This is not about localization at all. So, essentially, what's gonna happen is that once the technology advances enough... Oh, hello! I'm sorry they came in. Hold on, I'm screaming about something. Once the technology advances enough, they're going to be able to make replicas without a person as the basis. Or they'll be able to skew the audio so strong that no one will know where it originally came from. And you know what they can do at that point? They don't have to pay anybody. Once they have a model that doesn't sound like close enough to a real person anymore, they don't have to pay anyone. So you're helping to develop the technology that's going to in the future write you out of a job, essentially. They did a live stream to discuss it and turned off the comments. I know! That was the Instagram one, right? I didn't see it, but I heard that. I was pissed. Also, Ophi, hello, thank you so much for the raid. I'm not pulling up clips today because I'm absolutely livid and I'm screaming. I'm sorry if you don't want screaming, run for the hills. I'm screaming about how SAG fucked over everyone. Voice actors, mostly actually just voice actors. we are angry. We are angry over here. But yeah, it's shit. That's why you think this is so important. Okay, good. Then you know what you signed up for by coming here. Welcome. Welcome into the Angie. Long story short, for anyone who just came in and didn't know, SAG sold out their voice actors. Essentially, there was a strike to protect against AI. And then without warning, they're like, hey, yo, voice actors, we made a new deal for your AI replicas to make money instead of you. Oh, boy! Ophi, can you vouch for me on this one? Listen, we don't want to get paid for our voice work. We want to do the damn work. There's a lot of fulfillment that comes with it. We don't want to fucking get paid. Like, you do voice acting and stuff on stream. If you were given the opportunity to do it in something as a replica of fucking AI, would you turn it down? Like, you want to do the thing, right? You don't want to hear your voice in something. You want to fucking do the thing. Like, how dare? It's just, ugh. Anyway, they did this without any of the members' consent, even though something like this should have had a member vote. And they did it in a very dirty, sleazy way, where they essentially, because it's one company signing up for it right now, they didn't have to have a vote because it's a deal with one company, right? And if it's a deal with one company, you don't have to have a public vote. But it's a deal with one company that set a precedent for the entire industry. So they literally threw us under the bus. It's painful. Yeah, the point of for acting is doing the acting. Nobody gets into acting because they want to be famous. Well, some people do, they don't last. Those are the people that realize life is hard and they give up. People that get into it, it's because they're really passionate about it and they want to do the thing. At least we found out the pay is good. Like, per 300 lines, you have to be paid the same as if you were doing it in person. So at least, in theory, it's cheaper to hire a real person because you have to pay an extra day to make the replica. But in the future, those replicas, we don't know what might happen. Once they're made, there's no getting rid of them. There's no taking them back. You can revoke consent, but what if the rules change again? We wouldn't have expected it to come out of nowhere already. They can change the rules without consent if they can make them without consent. You know? I don't trust it. I don't trust it at all. That's true. There have been a lot of good moments in voice acting from improv. I can't improv. I guess it can improv. I mean, that's kind of what it does. But it can't improv naturally in a way that's fun. Anyway, here I found the agreement. Is this what you do to sign up for use? I think this is the agreement if you want to sign up to have a replica made. Hey chat. Let's look at the contract. I don't know if this is the contract for the person or for the company, but either way, let's look for loopholes. A limited digital voice replica development agreement is entered into between Replica Media and Screen Actors Guild American Federation blah, 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 with respect to the creation and use of digital voice replica as defined below. Okay. For the purposes of this agreement, the following capitalized terms shall have definitions below. We gotta read it carefully. Okay. Development use shall mean the use of a digital voice replica in connection with developers' internal research and development and for demonstration by the developer. So that means the voice replica could be used to develop other replicas, I think. Like in AI technology in general, they could use it for development of the technology. It's not just for your replica that you're getting paid for. They can use it for development use in general, I think. License use shall mean any license or other conveyance of the digital voice replica or technology containing or enabling the digital voice replica to a third party. This includes the use of the digital voice replica to replace, enhance, or supplement the delivery of a performer or any other person. So the license use is basically when they're using you to play as a character. Development use is when they're using you to improve their software. Okay. And license use is when... Okay, what's external use? External use includes the use of digital voice replica in an audio or audiovisual work in any media. Oh, okay, so basically you can license the use to be used externally. These are kind of like the same thing-ish, I think. Oh, maybe this is the process of licensing, and you can license it for external use. Maybe? That's a little weird. External use includes the use of the digital voice replica in an audio or audiovisual work in any media now known and hereafter devised. I feel like, if nothing else, AI, when it comes to stuff with feeling, like animation, video games, I feel like there's a chance that voice actors might survive a little longer, but I think this is going to decimate the commercial market. Like for commercials, like radio ads and commercials, I think people can add speed reads and stuff. I think the commercial market is fucked. Including but not limited to the following as made available to paying or non-paying consumers and users, non-broadcasters, personal delivery to mobile devices, internal phone and voicemail systems, interactive programs like video games, new media platforms like apps, audiobooks, podcasts, and streaming content, television, news and broadcast journalism, television programming. At least it seems to protect like AI talent on YouTube, so if someone illegally makes one, they can be in trouble. Maybe. ADR and looping, promos and commercials, and music production. Okay. I'm sorry that the trace memory link is still there. I don't feel like fixing it right now. Performers means person who speak, act, sing, or in any other manner perform as talent. A SAG-AFTRA agreement shall refer to any other SAG-AFTRA signatory or collectively bargained agreement. I'm not gonna read all these, that's a pain. Okay, a voice model means a computer-generated AI model or electronic creation or recreation of a voice or voices. So this is like basically the voice replica that can synthesize speech. Digital voice replica means... Oh, okay. So a voice model is, I think, a little closer to like what Vocaloid is used for, maybe. Wait, no. Oh, okay. Means a computer-generated AI model. So a voice model is basically what I said, people working themselves out of a job. Voice model, from what I understand, is essentially like making a synthesized character that's not real. Like making sounds, but there was never a person behind it. So this is more like if you are making a sound from just computer noises. Like, there's not a real person that ever inputted something. And a digital voice replica or fine-tuned model means a voice model trained on recordings of a specific individual. Okay, so digital voice replica, but will the digital voice replicas be used to make voice models? Did they trap you in that wording? Because if they did, that's where the danger is. Because you will never be compensated for a voice model because it doesn't count as you. You're only compensated for use of your digital voice replica. So if the digital voice replicas are used to make voice models, even if it's just training data in any sort of way, essentially, it's not seen as your voice anymore. So that I think is a big catch. Means a voice model trained on recordings and has an individually identifiable unique characteristics. In other words, if they take a bunch of digital voice replicas and like bash them together to make a new sound, it's not you anymore. It's a voice model. It's something different and new. What's a foundational voice model? A foundational voice model is a voice model trained on large volumes of anonymized data files that does not have individually... Oh, okay! So a foundational voice model is the evil that I was talking about. A foundational voice model is exactly the type of thing. Also, I'm gonna make a suggestion right now. AI could be great for small projects? No. Because you want to know who's always down to do small projects? Small voice actors that are interested in getting started. You can always find people online, if you know where to look, that are willing to do stuff for free or really cheap to get practice. And some of them can be really good. There's always going to be people. There's not really a reason, in my opinion. What if you have no budget? Free! People are willing to do it for free. There's lots of people that'll do it for free for small budget indie. I've seen it all over the place. I know people have done it for free and have later gone on to become really big voice actors. You never know. If you know where to look, you can find people. So a foundational voice model is basically they take the data from the digital voice replicas and they make something that is basically no one has to be paid for it anymore because it's all anonymized and combined into this like bastardized chimera of a voice thing, so it's not anyone anymore technically. So what I believe is going to happen is that the people who cave and sell out and have a digital voice replica, they're going to stop getting work eventually and wonder why. It's because their replica has been used to make foundational voice models. And companies probably won't have to pay nearly as much for foundational voice models. And because of that, then they'll stop using people and they'll start using foundational voice models. Yeah. That's not intended to be user-facing. So I guess the foundational voice model means like it's not supposed to be used for commercial projects, just kind of like in development. But we don't know what could happen in the future. Again, this could change. A few days ago, I never would have thought this would happen. So, yeah, it really kills motivation for people want to dive into the industry. It really, really does. Hi! I am people who would like to dive into the industry. Recognition, scope, and coverage. Okay. Developer recognizes the bargaining representative for all members and any other performers engaged pursuant. Okay. Yeah, whatever. Recording session fees. Okay, so 6-hour day is like over double, which is fair. Wait, actually, no, it's like exactly double, which is fair because that's a lot more work and that'll be really taxing on a real person. So it's good that they're at least giving more compensation if an AI does more taxing work. The other thing is though, and let me make a point. How do you know if an AI's worked for 4 hours? I like the 300 line agreement in the other one. Because that one is set by lines. You can't really have a time set to an AI. It doesn't work. Because you can just plug it all in like 10 seconds, done. In addition, the developer agrees to pay 16.5% on all gross compensation as contributions to the plan. There you go! If I understand this correctly, what this might mean, I'm not familiar what the plan actually means in this case. I don't know if it's like healthcare or whatever for union people, what I feel like this means, and some of you were asking, will the union get royalties and money from the performances? It seems like the union's getting benefits. 100%. 100% the union's getting money on this. I don't know if it's this, or if they're getting a percentage of this, like it usually is. Like, usually the union gets a percentage of the hourly rate. So I don't know if it's the same or different, but they're definitely getting a cut. Terms and conditions. Let's read these. Wait. Payment of a session fee entitles them to create and use the digital voice replica voice model and the voice recording solely for the purposes of development use. Okay, now let's read the other stuff. Hold on. Let's see where anything else weird might be. Okay, Developers shall obtain informed consent of the performers and negotiate for compensation for each development use of the digital voice replica as set forth in the subsection. Developer must provide performers and, if applicable, their professional representatives a full and forthright description of the recording session. Does that include the script? If not, you don't know what your voice is going to be reading. And it could be some very unsavory stuff. Development use prior to negotiating compensation for the development use. To the extent known at the time of the booking, such description should include the size of... Okay, here's what it has to include. The size of the role, the extent to which the digital voice replica will be used in the project, so like kind of how important it'll be, including, if known, the anticipated number of lines of dialogue and the nature of the dialogue. That means it might not be known. You can negotiate this before the dialogue is known, and then you can make people say very, very bad things. Because they said if known, which means it doesn't have to be known yet. It should have to be known at a bare minimum. You shouldn't have people agree to stuff that they don't know what they're saying. Unless otherwise stated in this agreement, the maximum period of use for the digital voice replica shall not exceed 1 year from the date of first use. Which must commence during the term of this agreement. Thereafter, the licensee may extend the period of use for an additional year by obtaining the performer's continued informed consent and payment of another fee equal to no less than a 4-hour session rate in the then current IMA for each successive year. So they have to have that like 1 day bonus once a year, I guess. I do use my hands a lot when talking, especially when I'm fucking mad. Yay! Wait. AI deal. Yay! I forgot I can do that. Foundational models. The maximum period of use shall not exceed an initial term of 3 years. Thereafter, Replica may extend the use of an additional 3 years upon obtaining the performer's continued informed consent and payment of another fee equal to 1/2 of the 4-hour session rate. Oh man, you don't even get paid the same for future years, you get paid half. What if one day they decide after 5 years they don't have to pay you anymore because they made the technology and your worth is gone? External license use. External use and license use are not permitted under this agreement without first separately bargaining the terms and conditions relating hereto. Okay. If the developer intends to license or otherwise convey a digital voice replica to a third party or to make any external use, they have to notify them and the developer will bargain in good faith regarding the terms and conditions. Okay, so they can't hand it off to a third party without the union being involved in that handoff. Okay. If prior to the intended use, SAG-AFTRA and developer enter into a negotiated agreement governing external uses under license use of digital voice replicas created under this agreement, and the intended use falls within the scope of that agreement, then the terms of that agreement shall apply to the external use or license use. Rights in the recordings. Developer may not use or authorize any part of the performer's voice recordings upon which the digital voice replica is based, other than in connection with creating the digital voice replica without separately bargaining the terms and conditions. Okay, so basically, the lines you use to make the replica, they can't use your real recordings. They can only use the AI robot itself. Payments. Performers shall be paid not less than the minimum applicable fees due hereunder, not later than 12 business days after services have been rendered. Okay. Liquidated damages for late payment. The following cumulative payments shall be added to the compensation due and payable to the performer for each day, beginning with the day following the day of the default. $2.50 for each day's delinquency. So every day they're late, you get $2.50. And that's fine. Late payments isn't really relevant to what we're discussing. It's good that they get some extra money if they're late, but how many voice actors have legal counsel available to them when this all gets skirted by an oopsie from the studio? Probably none! Because thanks to bullshit like this, they won't make enough money. Wow! Well, I guess they still make money, but temporarily until their jobs are gone. Except for the ones that hold strong and don't want this, then they make no money. Companies are gonna make it mandatory. They want the technology. They want the technology in their hands. They're gonna make it mandatory. I wonder how many of them do have money, though. I hope a lot of the heavy hitters are suing the fuck out of the union right now. Social Security, withholding, unemployment, disability. Oh yeah, do you get any unemployment if you suddenly lose work, if your AI replica loses work? All compensation paid to performers covered by the agreement constitute wages and such are subject to Social Security, withholding, unemployment, insurance, taxes. So great. More deductions on the money that you're making from not doing anything. I love it here. And disability insurance taxes. Developer and any others who assume the obligation to make such payments shall also make the required payments, reports, and withholdings and respect such taxes. Okay. Recordings from pre-existing audio. Developer may use pre-existing voice recordings of a performer, living or deceased. I don't like that. For the purpose of creating a digital voice replica subject to the following. Developer shall get express written consent from the performer or performer's estate. Okay, so it is the estate. I gotta make sure that I give my estate to a fucking tree. Like literally just a tree. A tree that cannot communicate. I'm gonna dedicate my entire Playasia estate to a fucking tree. Some gigantic tree. And I'm going to protect it very strongly so that nobody can give consent, even in death, to use my fucking voice. Otherwise, people will be lining up, being like, oh god, when do we get the rights to pay him? Developers will pay a fee. That's really bad if their estate is sleazy, though. That sucks. They might not still like it. Developers will pay a fee negotiated with the performer or performer's estate, no less than the equivalent of a 4-hour session fee to the performer or performer's estate. So you're getting paid the same as if you were actually doing it. The fact is, if you're getting paid the same as if you're actually doing it, then there's gotta be some underhanded incentives to do it. And that's what I still don't really like. I still would not consent. I do like how, at least if you want union people, though it appears to still be cheaper. Actually, no. No. Because this is a scale rate. Okay, so there's a thing called scale when it comes to acting, right? Scale is like the bare minimum you have to be paid. These rates are the bare minimum. To hire an A-list celebrity, they're usually above scale because they're in such high demand that they would be paid higher. So the thing is, for those people who would be paid a lot higher, they will get less using replicas. Anyone who would be paid above scale, anyone who's worked their way up the ladder and gets paid higher because they have the experience, the skill, and the clout to get more money, won't get it anymore. There's no conditions for the replicas to get paid more. It's all like flat. So that is an issue. But the rates I was looking at were actually like the equivalent of like a minimum wage for union work. Like sometimes people do get paid more. Some productions will pay a lot more actually. So it really depends. The use of the digital voice replica is subject to Section 4. I don't know what that means. The requirement in this section to obtain informed consent and pay the negotiated fee shall apply regardless of the source of the voice recordings. Okay. Working conditions. So you do get paid overtime, I guess, if you have to record longer to make a replica, as well as if your replica records more lines. Let's see. Engagement, non-use of services. Okay. Performers shall be considered definitely engaged by a developer if any of the following events: when the performer is given written notice of acceptance by the developer, when a form contract signed by the developer is delivered to a performer, or when a form contract unsigned by the developer is delivered to a performer. Oh my god, that's so confusing. My brain hurts. You know what I just realized would be really fun? What if we replaced the union executives with AI? We don't need them, right? The union executives are supposed to be the people who work to defend everyone's point of view. But if the union executives aren't working to defend everyone's point of view, what if we replaced them with a robot and everyone typed in their input and then that input got like scanned and like thought out and like what's the word, analyzed by the AI? And then, you know, we don't really need the big people at the top, do we? They think they don't need us, but really, we don't really need them. We can just replace them with an AI that actually listens to our wants and needs and uses them all objectively. mean, they're clearly not looking out for us, so what do we have to lose? True democracy, have a robot at the top that listens to every input. Rest periods. Developers shall provide performer at least 5-minute rest periods for every hour of recording. Is that how much protection you need for your voice? Whoops, because I stream way longer than that without shutting up. Provided that the developer may accommodate a performer's request. Okay, whatever, rest doesn't matter. Performers shall receive double time workers and holidays. We don't care. We don't care. We don't care. Protection of. I care about this. I should hydrate, yeah. Okay, protection of a digital voice replica. Developers shall take commercially reasonable steps to ensure the security of any digital voice replica material created in whole or in part under this agreement. Developer shall take commercially reasonable steps to prevent unauthorized access, disclosure, or theft of the digital voice replica and to prevent unauthorized use of the digital voice replica by any third party. In the event developer learns of any violation of this, developer will promptly notify SAG-AFTRA and the affected performers. Ow! Upon the earlier expiration of this agreement or conclusion of the project, developers shall cease all use of the replica and delete all usable copies. I'm glad they have to at least delete the copies. Indemnification. Wait, how long is this? Oh my god. I can't read all this. Oh my god. This is 24 pages. 24 pages of legal jargon. Oh my god. Okay, we're gonna skip to the interesting stuff. I only just noticed that it's 24 pages. Oh my god! Okay, let's see. I wanna look for stuff that matters. Okay, protection of member information. I think this is just for like their name and stuff like that. Oh, and this is just signatures. Oh, and this is just like how to fight grievances and stuff. So like how to solve disputes. Yeah, 24 pages of evil. And then how to make claims, time limits, arbitration. I don't think this matters so much as I'm not as interested in how to like make complaints and how to legally fight as I am on the situation. Because we all know that legal teams are gonna fight to defend everyone anyway. So it's a bunch of garbage. Does it say the penalty if they don't delete it? Maybe. I don't think it has like specific situations. It's more like how to dispute if any of the above is broken, from what I understand. I don't think there's anything else super relevant to our discussion, necessarily. Wait. Okay, this is just that the developer has to bargain with each talent individually. Transparency. Yeah, no, break the rules. Or you get in trouble. Okay. Any performance license or similar authorization to use a digital voice replica shall prohibit the licensee from sub-licensing other than as necessary to effectuate a license or other conveyance of the project as a whole. So you can't use it on like a second project. It has to be on, the license is for one project. Single project work only. So I guess if they're caught, they're just instructed to delete it. But how do they prove they actually deleted it? They could just steal it. And like warp it with a voice changer slightly so that it's slightly different or something. And then they can't prove anything. They do have usage tracking, I guess. But I don't know how well that works. It's digital, it's pretty easy to steal. This is basically just like a long form saying everything that was already above. Okay. Wait. So this is the disclosures that have to be disclosed. In addition to the disclosures required, consent. Developer shall provide performance and, if applicable, the professional representatives the following information to the extent known. The name of the game, the genre of the game, whether the license for use in the game by a previously published intellectual property, so if it's like a series, the size of the role, whether the voice replica will be used in any other work, whether the license allows the digital voice replica to be used for content that contains... Oh, okay, this is a good one, actually. So they have to disclose. They have to disclose. If it's known at the time, though. If it's not known at the time, that's still an issue. But if it's known at the time, they have to disclose. If it's going to be used for profanity, sexual situations, religious stuff, endorsing or advocating for a political position, they do have to if it's known at the time. But if it's not known, they don't have to. So they can add bullshit in later and say, we didn't know at the time. But I hope they have to say when they know at least. They also have to apparently give consent for in-game advertisements. So if you're like sponsored, I guess, and your character's like, I love some Pepsi, I guess you'd have to give consent to be like, yes, I do love Pepsi. So that's at least something. Still, they're not allowed to advertise other products without you knowing. Credits of projects shall disclose that AI-generated digital voice replicas have been used in the project. At the time of obtaining... Also, for Joe the second, think about the server, put it in a chat box and ask it for summarize various perspectives. I think that's going to be too complicated. I want to look directly at the words here, because I have another document I want to look at. And I have something to do in a little over an hour. I think it's too complicated to get a summary. I would rather look at the exact words myself. I don't want the summary to, like, skip things on me, if that makes sense. I want to have my own look at the words. A credit of the project shall disclose that AI... Okay, so they have to say that it was AI voices. Speaking of which, I want to talk about one other thing briefly before I forget. So Steam! If you haven't seen it, Steam has a new thing, and I actually like what they're doing, kind of. So Steam, from what I understand, I haven't looked into it too deeply. I was going to discuss it today too, but this is going a lot longer than I thought. So Steam has a thing now where AI games have to disclose if they use AI, and then it's like flagged as AI was used in this game, right? Okay. I hope that just means for like AI generated like art or story or whatever. I hope it doesn't mean like enemies having AI, because like that's a whole other type of AI. But I think it's smart, because the reality is people are going to keep sneaking up AI games on Steam. We've seen them. We've all seen them. They're there. They're there. We've all seen AI-generated content on Steam. Right now, it's running rampant, and it's awful. But this way, at least if it's flagged, we can turn it off! We can see if it says AI, and if we don't like that, we cannot get anything. We can choose to not support anything that uses that shit. So, I personally think that change is helpful. While I do have a problem with the fact that it's encouraging it, instead of, like, previously it was kind of like, is this even allowed? But no one said anything. But now it's kind of like, straight up like, yeah, you can use it. You just gotta flag it. And a lot of people are upset about that. But I think it's better than having it run rampant and you don't even know. It's at least being very transparent of where it is. At the time of obtaining... they'll consult with the performer regarding how to credit their digital voice replica in the game's credits, if any. So they can also choose to have it be like a different name or something, which I'm actually upset about. I was hoping it would have to be their name, so I could, if I see anyone credited under a digital one, I'd be like, you sold yourself. Traitor. I would have preferred to know. A performance license will only be used for linear scripted content. Okay. So it can Oh! So, let me get this straight. Let me get this straight. The hypocrisy in this line. Okay. A performance license shall be for linear scripted content only. Digital voice replicas may not be used for procedurally generated dialogue without separately bargaining with the performer. Do you have more protection for not having AI writers than for not having AI actors? Either just throw yourself in the depths of hell and be like, fine, fuck it, we ball with both. Or say both is wrong. Bruh, the disrespect. The voice actors, the disrespect. They're like, we're not gonna have AI writing unless we get extra negotiating and extra consent, but we'll protect the writers, we just won't protect you. I love it here. I love it here. Okay. So here are just the rates again. That's just basically the same rates, pretty much. I'm not just agreeing. This is probably where some tricky stuff would be that would try to trip you up. Oh, this is important actually. Transfer agrees to indemnify, defend, and hold the affected performers harmless from and against liability arising from the transferee's license of the voice from Replica, including transferee's use of performer's voice in any manner that is defamatory, casts the performer in a false light, or is otherwise unlawful. Okay. So basically, under the union rules, at least, while I still don't think the replicas are good at all, at least there is a clause. So if they use it for anything political or anything offensive that like ruins your life, essentially, they don't have the right to do that. And basically they sign a clause that is like, yeah, I'm responsible if I like slander this actor with this absolute bullshit. So I do appreciate this at least. It's better. It is basically one point they've made is that it's better than nothing. The problem is we actually want nothing. Let's see. Oh, okay. To the extent the information has not been previously provided, they do have to update. So like if there is political or religious content or whatever and they do change their mind mid-game, they do actually have to tell you. Like as soon as they know that that kind of stuff is there, they have to inform you. So luckily, at least under this agreement, your voice can't be used for things that you really aren't comfortable with, but I still don't necessarily believe that this won't change if this came out of nowhere. But it's something. However, I did want to talk about one other document that I saw that a few days before SAG was promoting, and this document actually has a lot of merit to it. It's to protect Americans from AI-generated fakes. This document actually is quite good. It's not a thing yet. It's a thing that's being pushed for. It's a thing that's being pushed for, but I feel like it has a lot of good points. So it offers protection against AI-generated deepfakes and clones. So essentially, I want to read it. They have a good point. There's nothing more personal than our voices and images, the fundamental and unique elements of what identify us and make us who we are. I have to move my camera so I may not track well. Digital fakes of one's persona are inherently harmful, robbing an individual of control over their identity and image. For artists and other creators, fakes are also unfair competition and threaten their livelihoods and creative economy at the large. Artificial intelligence is creating incredible new ways to express ourselves, but Congress must address misuses of generative AI that threaten our basic rights as human beings. We need guardrails requiring consent for AI to use a person's image, voice, and likeness. So this basically means that like it would be against the law to use AI of people without consent under certain circumstances. No AI Fraud Act will set the national baseline, allowing AI technology to thrive responsibly and fairly without violating our valuable personal rights. So while it still sucks that it'll exist, at least if stuff like this becomes a thing, if enough people argue for it, there will be enough change that hopefully, at least, you know, it'll change enough that at least people won't have it without consent. But, so basically, long story short, what this entire document did was that they said they pushed for AI will be used for union performers, but you'll be paid fairly, and it'll only be used with consent. But the problem is, these are not entirely transparent. Okay? Because this was made in a very scummy way in the first place, where they pulled strings and used loopholes to make it as a single company agreement, when it's changing the industry as a whole. and there was no consent involved in that process. So sure, you might be able to give consent to having your actual likeness used in a project, but this entire progression of the technology within the union sphere was done in the first place without consent. So, they say they're fighting for consent, but are they really? When they've already proven once that consent means nothing to them. And 2, they're fighting for fair wages. I will give them that. They did negotiate the same wages as if they hire a person, but that's not what people were concerned about in the strike. People weren't necessarily concerned about having like the fair wages. This particular strike was people want to do their jobs. Actors want to act. So sure, you made sure we get fair wages when we're worked out of our jobs. Yay? Huh? That's not the point! That's not the point! That's completely wrong! That's like being like, hey yo, can I beat you up? Like that meme where it's like, would you punch someone in the face for $1 million? It's like, what if they like die or something? It's like, I'll have $1 million, but I'm bloody and bruised. That's like, the fuck? It's like, it's basically, would you sell out for short-term profit is how I view this deal. Slippery slope is only a fallacy without trends and evidence. I mean, there have been trends and evidence though. You're already seeing a lot of, especially on the eShop, right? You're already seeing on the eShop a lot of like anime games using novel AI anime art. We're already seeing it. We're already seeing it, right? And we're seeing a lot of YouTube videos using people's voices without their consent, sometimes to do not so good things. We're already seeing this slippery slope, right? So it's kind of already, it's there. But it's like, it's not what people were fighting for. Basically, the people that were supposed to have everyone's best interest in mind said, fuck you. That's in summary. The people that we're supposed to protect are now enabling this, and a lot of voice actors are really mad and are like, hey yo, the fuck? I feel like I have exhausted myself. I don't really know how many more words I can say because I'm very tired. I'm very tired and I'm very upset. I'm exhausted. But yeah, the protectors were basically paid to turn their backs. I'm kind of curious. I think it was Icebox that posted it. Like, would you sign? I'm curious, chat. Would you sign? Imagine it was your job, though. Well, actually, no. A lot of you probably hate your job, so maybe not. Would you sign if it's something you're really passionate about? Hell no, thanks. I feel a little bit better seeing at least some no's. Every time I looked in chat on the rare occasion and saw people being like, your job sucks anyway, deal with it. I'm just like, the immense amount of anger I just withhold and swallow. I hope I managed at least, I hope I managed a little bit. I said this was going to be a very biased argument. I'm not going from the game dev's perspective of wanting to save money here. I really wanted to convey why it's so upsetting to me and a lot of people I care about. Yeah. So, I have no idea if that was an enjoyable stream or if I've scared everyone and just lost all my subscribers. I really needed to scream into the void because I've just been feeling really down the past few days about this. It's been making me really depressed. And even if your job is AI-proof, you think. I would have thought voice acting was AI-proof. A couple years ago, I would have thought art was AI-proof. The reality is nothing is AI-proof. I want to say quality assurance for AI is at least AI-proof, but it's only a matter of time until they have AI that does quality assurance for AI. Yeah. Anyway, I just wanted to yell mainly, and also show the irony of some things that are mad. man. They're talking about at the conference, the labor movement is how we'll fight back against CEO greed, especially when it comes to technological advancement. Oh, really? That's what you're saying when you just sold out? Are you sure? Are you sure? Unions are how workers have a say. Did we really have a say in this situation, though? I mean, any voice actors, any people who like me who want to do this kind of stuff, did we really have a say? No. Not really. Have a say in how our future is shaped and how new tools can be adapted. Well, no, because this agreement was made without anyone having a fucking say. What the fuck? Yeah. Let me see. Wait, this might be what I was looking for earlier if I clicked the wrong one. Hold on. I'm waiting for this to load. Hold on. I'll come back to it. So, let's go up. The union page directly promoting, check out the creation in AI, what will humans do panel. Wow, a whole panel with a union representative. Duncan! This is Duncan! One of the people I said fuck you to earlier because he was a part of this decision. He's one of the people leading it. He did a talk. Sharing insights into the evolving landscape. Fuck Duncan! Now I have his face. I'll ingrain this into my brain. You are my enemy, Duncan. I hate this face. Anytime I see you, you'll get a very firm talking to. Thank you to our reps for introducing the No AI Frauds Act. I do want to read that, actually. It's actually good. So the No AI Frauds Act, so basically, this one, it prohibits publication, distribution, or transmission of unauthorized digital replica without consent. So this means my face is gonna lose tracking, sorry for a minute. Basically, it means nothing can be used without consent. They did have a good job at this one particular thing, at least. This particular act, I will agree with. So it would be violated if someone publishes, distributes, or transmits an unauthorized digital replica, or if someone materially contributes to that conduct of knowledge there was no consent. As AI technology becomes increasingly powerful, we must take immediate legislative action to protect human beings from abuse and fraud. And that is true. Technology should exist to help humans, not replace them or rip them off. What do you think this is doing, though? How is having a replica of my voice work for me assisting me? Can you please elaborate? Nah, bro, that's just replacing me. That's not assisting me. That's replacing. No. You just contradicted yourself with your actions. The minute we cross that line, we enter dystopia. Hello! Welcome to Dystopia, employees! Do enjoy your stay until you too are replaced. It's committed to protecting individuals via all available means. What means? You've done nothing. You've done approximately nothing. You know that meme where it's like Tuxedo Mask? He's like, I've done everything, or whatever the word is. And Sailor Moon's like, you've done nothing. And he's like, I'm leaving now. I don't know the words, but you know the one. It's like, but you've done nothing. He just leaves. That's how I'm feeling right now. One of the many ways we can ensure people in intellectual property rights are protected from exploitation. The No AI Frauds Act is an important step in the right direction. I do agree it's at least something. The No AI Frauds Act is something. I'll give it that. It doesn't give any of the names who did it here though, so I can't call them out. Yeah. This was the Instagram live I think that Burson was talking about earlier. The one yesterday. Live alert! Join us for an Instagram live today for Acting U.S. Secretary of Labor in conversation with labor leaders to discuss labor partnerships on our workers. Maybe it wasn't this one, I don't know. Maybe this isn't the Instagram one. There was an Instagram live specifically with SAG, I believe, and they turned off comments because people were so mad. They didn't want to hear it. Imagine a union, which is supposed to protect people, right? Having a live stream to discuss new changes and disabling the one way any people can provide feedback. Wow. Wow. I think that speaks for itself. I think that very, very much speaks for itself. And then you have all these photos of them enjoying their time with this rich people stupid conference. Join us today. Yeah. For AFTRA's Interactive Media Agreement Negotiating Committee. Oh, this was it. I think this was the Instagram Live. Dive into the details of the Replica Studios agreement. Man, I'm tempted to do another stream where we do a watch along of the VOD of that. That would be just me being really mad again. So now we'll just ratio you with Crow-Truce to death, yeah. This is fine. Man, it would be really fun to do a watch along of that and just scream at it, actually. So that was the Instagram Live. Notice this. 25,000 views, almost no interaction. Can anyone check how many quote retweets were on this one? I'm curious how many quote retweets were on the Instagram Live. Because nobody could comment on the actual thing, right? So I'm wondering how many people commented by quote retweeting. Then we have supporting the no AI fraud. I do think no AI fraud is good. Oh wait, here we go. Can I turn on the sound here? Hold on. I want to hear it. I want to hear their voice. I want to hear their evil voice. Hold on. I want to hear you speak when you say bad things. Okay.
In our space, there's a universal need for transparency that provides a basis for informed consent and proper compensation. Like those themes are so universal.
We don't want compensation, we want to work.
Conversations of how that applies in your particular workspace, in your particular contract, in your particular medium. So I think that having that sense
I can't check the quote retweets. What do you guys would have to?
And solidarity across the union.
What solidarity? You didn't ask anybody!
Principles has been really galvanizing, has been really helpful. And then
yeah,
my
quote
particular
transparency.
Fight is around what does that look like in the game space where technology isn't so much a hindrance.
It should be in terms of this.
Or an injection, but it's like fish in water. I mean, this is a product that's made of technology. You know, my work as a performer. You know, the qualities of my voice, the features of my face, the expression of my movement, all of that is immediately digested and translated into data, the technology that...
Yeah, transparency on the solidarity. What solidarity? Everyone's against you, you fucking moron. Everyone disagrees.
And models, simulates, you know, creates this...
That's true, Nick Brown. You can't have people disagree if you don't ask them in the first place. Which I doubt they did.
This object that you consume, this entertainment that you enjoy.
I'm not enjoying myself
really
right now, though.
Just like, oh, here's technology, what do we do about it? All of a sudden, it's learning, you know, as actors, how this technology works in a way that we're not maybe native to.
Bruh. It's not the technology working with us, it's the technology working instead of us.
But we have to have, in order to have meaningful, productive conversations with developers, we have to catch up and speak their language so
or we could just not have the conversation and be like, hey yo, you want humans? You hire us. What the fuck? That was like bullshit corporate talk, man. Man. Yeah, exactly. There's no opposition when there's no chat to back it up. Man. Only 3 quote retweets, really? I guess people just gave up on that. I guess people were so mad at that point they just gave up. I think, or they went back and quote retweeted the other one again. It's more likely, probably, because the other one has the information that people would need to be informed on what's going on. Make a new union. That actually is something that's in talks. I'm stretching. That is in talks right now. A lot of voice actors are being like, we need a union just for voice actors. Like, we want to withdraw. You don't represent us. I don't know if that'll happen or not, but we'll find out. I wanna listen to the bullshit in this one.
Court to sit on the sideline. You know, we have to look at this as a threat, not only to our workplace, but also to our society.
Then why did you cave in and bend over?
And in, you know, the overall community of people, okay, who are more prone to be workers and more prone to identify with our issues. So we have to take a holistic approach. We have to be at all tables as labor movement because there's so many workers with vulnerable inside the workplace.
Then what place have your workers had in this discussion? Why'd you leave them out, bro? Why'd you leave them out, bro? Man. What is this one? What happens? How far we've come as a labor movement? What labor movement? You threw your voice actors out the fucking window. Oh, I don't want to hear the closing ceremony speech. That's a wrap on the summit. Wow, I loved all the news that came from this summit. I love this. Entertainment unions are more united than ever. No, your entire voice actor group is against you and thinks you're a moron. In the show of solidarity, leadership from blah 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 join. Oh man, everyone hates you now though. How does it feel? And now they're at CES today, actually. They're at CES today, learning about new technology and stuff. They're hitting the floor. And they put a thing being like, wow, look at us. We're so inspired by all the technology. And I looked at some of the comments. Just people being like, read the room. Anyway, that was my rant. I need to eat. And then I have a commitment for something I need to do in like under an hour at this point. Because I meant for this stream to take 1 hour. I thought I'd be a little more clear-headed than I was. I thought I could condense it and stay a little bit calm. You guys still didn't see me at Angie. I've been keeping good spirits despite the yelling. Luckily my streaming vibes won, and I was able to not show you the actual Angie. just the peeved Angie. You guys still haven't seen me actually like pure rage, no smile left version Angie. It still went a lot longer than intended, but I needed to get that out of my system, and then maybe I can sleep better. You're welcome. Or I'm sorry. I'm not really sure what I should say right now. I'll be back on Twitch only in a couple hours, probably around 11 p.m. or 11:30 p.m. EST, to do some late night snacking and watching the anime trailers for the upcoming season. So if you want to hang out, it'll be just on the Twitch side. I'll post on Discord and Twitter when I'm ready to go live. Yeah. I gotta lose my tracking really quick so I can put my links. Oh my god, my iPad is so hot on my belly. Why is it so warm? This is uncomfortable. Okay, let me drop my links in chat real quick, and then I will find some people to raid because my other stream will just be on Twitch. Okay, Twitter. Dude, watch the SAG stream instead. I think I need some sanity. I think I'm not. Discord, music, Playasia. Where if you buy any Switch games, you get a really, really, really stick Joy-Con sticker of me. Really cute, I meant. Really stick Joy-Con sticker. The stream broke me. It broke me, guys. Okay, let me put my links in Twitch as well. And then we will raid. I feel like this was a lot closer to like Pippa or Kirsha's streams than I usually do. I'm sorry. Music and YouTube. I was typing !YouTube.com. Zara saying thank you for the money to fight the machine. Okay, those are way more tangents. True. I stayed on topic. Guys, are you proud of me? I've never stayed on topic so much in my life. I stayed on topic. The whole time. I'm amazing. Alright, I'm gonna go to my ending screen. I'll see you guys later. Bye-bye. Also, if you're curious about the situation, I do recommend that you don't just take my word for it. Go and do some research for yourself. Because, like, one thing that's really important that I think so many people forget this day and age is it's always important to, like, look stuff up and decide what you think on your own about a situation. So I think it's good if you take some time to learn it for yourself as well, you know? Oh, I see Iron Mouse is on the homepage with a new motto. I also see I'm not following her for some reason, so let's do that real quick. I don't think I'm gonna read Iron Mouse.
Join me in the
That might be kind of weird.
Come and take a breather from all the pressure. Put you pressure.
Let's see. Yumemi is playing violin? I'll send you guys over there if you want to calm down. Calm down with some nice violin. It's not loading though. Give me a second. Twitch is like broken. I didn't even know she. She's playing Tsubasa Chronicles on violin. Let's fucking go! I didn't even know she played. Da, 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 da. Da, 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 da. Okay, we're gonna read Yumemi. This is Yumemi. She's very lovely, and she's playing a song of Storm and Fire, I think, on violin. Rules. Stay respectful, treat others how you want to be treated. No swearing, I'm an innocent soul, auto-mod might bully. Yumemi is a lot more say-so, please be say-so in chat. Keep things on topic, do not chat about others unless I mention them. And I'll send you guys over to Yumemi and enjoy the violin. Da, 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 da. Da, 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 da. Okay, let me send you guys, and then we will raid someone on YouTube after. Okay, let's see if we can raid on the YouTube side. Hold on. Okay. Who can we raid on YouTube? I'm gonna go try to calm down before my thing. Where can I send you guys? Let's see. Oh, damn. A slight intimidation seeing the number of people that were apparently here. Slight intimidation. I guess you guys didn't mind me being angry. And where can I send you guys? Oh, somebody's having their streaming anniversary. Well, let me send you guys to their streaming anniversary. Let me make sure it's a good time. Hold on. Oh, wait. Oh, is he ending? I'm gonna ask. I was gonna rate Apollo's anniversary, but I think he's ending. Let me check, hold on. Trying to figure out if I can read Apollo or not. Okay, we're not gonna raid Apollo because he's ending stream. Who can we raid then? Alright, let's see if we can raid Apollo's stream doesn't work. He's ending. Who else can we raid? Hmm. You know what? I did mention Pippa, but I'm not familiar with what she's reacting to. If I knew what it was, I'd probably send you guys. I just don't want to send you guys something like super controversial by accident. I don't know what that is. I might send you guys somewhere really relaxing, actually, to calm down after my yelling. Do you guys want to hear some live music on YouTube as well? Let's do that. You think it's a weird comedy sketch thing? I don't know. I'm paranoid. It's Pippa, so it's a 50-50. That's true sometimes. I'm gonna send you guys somewhere fun to calm down. Oh, Yumemi's singing on Twitch now. So lovely. I'm gonna send you guys to Enva. She's doing a piano live stream. You guys can go and calm down with Enva and just chill and listen to some music while you wait for me to come back in like an hour or two. Enva doesn't have any rules listed on the YouTube side, so I think she's dual streaming as well. So go and have a chill time listening to her piano. She's amazing. You have no idea how good she is. I'll send you guys over now. Have a good time. Bye, 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 bye. I'll try to